So for those of us who are not selling things for $50,000, what is like kind of the formula for marking up the price? Say between the scanning and the print cost X amount.
I usually recommend that if somebody is going to have it done, we're going to assume, and it is just an assumption, that they're going to sell at least 10. So if you take a scanning cost and divide it by 10, add that to your printing cost, and then multiply that by, and I've got people who regularly, I don't want to mention any name, but take that cost and multiply it by 5. Now that's what that does is it's paying them for their talent. You know, they painted the original. They had the creative juices to make that original. They need to get compensated for it. So 3 or 4 times at least. 5 times, I know somebody who does it and gets away with it without any trouble at all. I use it.
Do it just twice, because then if you put it in a gallery with a 50% commission, you're not making any money.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do have people who do resell, and if we know that it's resold by that, what we usually do is make sure that you've got a resale certificate from the state, which indicates that you're reselling it. And then we price things out for those people at wholesale prices, so that somebody coming into the store over the counter having their piece reproduced is going to pay a greater price than you do at the wholesale price, because we understand that you're going to resell it. We also understand that if it's good for you, it's good for us. These are all marked, like some of these are photographic papers and others are fine art papers. Like this William Turner, I think it's a beautiful paper. It reproduces very well.
Is that considered rag or?
This is all rag, yeah.
This is rag.
And some of these are all rag. And I'll indicate which ones are. If you want to pass this down and feel it and look at it, you're welcome to. The problem with William Turner is that the surface of it is very fugitive. So you have to handle that kind of with gloves, because it makes a beautiful print, but it doesn't take much to take the surface off it. Then you lose little specks of ink. It ruins it.
Flakes off a little?
Pardon me? Yeah, it flakes off, yes.
And what did you call it? Fugitive?
Fugitive, yeah.
Fugitive, okay.
Well, it's, the ink is fugitive or the color is fugitive, meaning that it doesn't last. Right, it's volatile, exactly. Okay, this is an all rag. It's like a watercolor paper.
Oh, that's nice, yeah. It doesn't have that skull. Left
There's canvas.
Nice. Canvas has come a long way. Canvas has come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the canvas, I'm learning, can have different finishes on how shiny you want it.
Right. The varnish.
Like it's orange. That's very times apart.
Yes. Right. But to make it just like a canvas. And a lot of our customers, what we'll do is we'll print a colored edge on it instead of it being white. Because if you just do a gallery wrap, then you can hang it without a frame and it still looks good. A lot of people will still put a frame on it, but it gives you the option of, because somebody says, oh, how much is it going to cost me to frame it?
So are there any papers that don't have to go under glass? Or
we've taken a number of papers and we varnish over them. We put a protective coating on them so that they don't have to go under glass.
So is it a spray or?
No,
it's a sheet.
No, not a sheet.
Not a sheet.
No, and we can laminate them also, because that commercially it takes absolutely all of the glare off of something. Gotcha. So we oftentimes do that, but I'm thinking you're asking more in terms of fine art pieces. So if you wanted to do a piece that did not have glass on it on paper, it can be varnished.
Also, I can't.
Losing within the last 2 years, right? The varnishing?
I'm gonna
It was late to the game. Only read about 3 years ago. So
Yeah, I'm going to say that it could have been done, not necessarily for giclée, but you could take any paper product and put a varnish coat over it, as long as you're not moving the ink. So, I mean, there are techniques for putting it on so that you're not dragging the ink across it. Once it's dry, it's fine. Like I
you
could,
have somebody sneeze and they spray on, right?
Yeah.
I heard. Oh, they woke up in tissue. I see the colors on it, right? You know.
yeah, I could pour the beer on here and wipe it off, and you'd never know.
The techniques you've talked about, is it a spray or is it a piece of cellophane type thing that you lay out on?
There's a vinyl laminate that can be put on. It's done under pressure and heat. But when I'm talking about varnishing, what I would call a fine art piece, we roll that on by hand. There's two different kinds of varnishes. The first one that we put on seals the surface so that the ink doesn't move, and then we'll put a final
Liquid varnish?
liquid varnish.
Oh, that's what I was asking.
The varnishes, so I mean, maybe it's too soon to tell where the varnishes are used, but to get any discoloration over Taj.
No. No, you mean that because no, absolutely not. No. I've never witnessed it. We did have an experience a few years back when we first started. We were using a paper that we had a company that we had to sign an NDA because they didn't want anybody to know that they were printing these things. We made many of these. And we got really freaked out for a while because what we noticed is after printing, when we stacked them up, they started to yellow. And what was happening, we didn't know it. We contacted the company, but what was happening is that it was outgassing. And it was causing, because we were stacking them, it caused the paper to yellow. So and the way that we took care of it was we took them out and exposed them to air and light. And the yellowing came right out of it, and then they will file.
Yep.
But
So you actually had to put them almost like in a silk screen rack, or
Exactly.
yeah, they only had to be out because it was such a high production run. We would cut one, put it down. Cut one, put it down, and they didn't have to be exposed to light and air that long. They were just too quickly stacked up.
Just to dry down.
Right.
So what's the best way to store your prints? Say like you've got 10 of one piece and then put them in acid-free mat and acetate cover. Is that good way to store them, or should they be out of the acetate cover?
Most of the materials, like if you've gotten clear bags, they're made out of a poly material that does not give off any gas. Like an acetate will give off a gas. And will cause some damage to a print over time. But the best, if you're storing them, like just to keep them, if you keep them out of light, controlled atmosphere. I mean, the ideal thing is no light, a temperature between 50 and 80, and
Consistent temperature.
and
Moisture.
thank you.
Yeah, moisture.
Humidity around 50%. Glassine paper is acid-free and it helps. But if they're matted, then nothing's actually touching it because the mat provides a little bit of space around it. So you're using all museum board. You don't have to put glassine in between it, and you'll still be preserving the print because nothing's actually touching it.
Well, clear bags are acid-free.
Clear bags are acid-free. Polyester is acid-free. Acetate is not.
So besides, I usually get mine stretched if I get something on canvas. I did one myself that was a pain in the neck. And I've stretched my own canvas, but once they're like this, I don't know, I found it difficult. It's much better to have you do it. But do you also mount them? Is that a choice?
Mount like a canvas, have it mounted to make a panel?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had one painting scan, and I lost the little disc that they put it on.
Did we scan it?
You did.
How long ago?
4 years.
We might probably have the original scan because we do retain that. It's easy for us to store those away. But things that have been like proofed or sized or extra work that was done to it, we don't necessarily keep that. You know, we can look because have you ever had any prints made from it? No. Then it may have gone.
I did. I don't know. I thought I put it in my laptop thing and it's gone. And I probably hid it somewhere because I didn't want to lose it.
I can look for you. Yeah, if you want to give me a call.
Keep the raw image, the raw scan.
We do. It's easier for us to take after it comes off the scanner. We take the raw scan, kind of file those away because we take that raw scan and then we modify that to make the giclées. They don't
Keep those.
And but that's because it's repetition. Yes.
So you said that you modify the image after the original scale. What kind of modifications do you do?
Cropping, a quick changes in the, because we are always checking the white point on things that we scan. Yeah, we'll make changes to the balance just to make sure that it's accurate just to the eye.
I use like Snapseed on my phone for just snaps up things.
Yeah.
And if it's a black in that corner and you're making the perspective over a little bit, if you have a lot of stuff going on in that corner and you're distorted, that you're going to see it.
Yeah.
I have a question. How do your scans look with graphite and pencil and all the different balance?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those things where I think it was the day that Norman Rockwell passed away. My dad and I had gone to a show in Providence, and all of Norman Rockwell's pencil sketches were there. Now, I'd seen them as reproductions from New York Graphic Society, and we're talking maybe like this was, we can look it up by when Norman Rockwell died, but it must have been in the early 80s. And I'd seen reproductions of Rockwell's pencil sketches from good print houses, and I was amazed when I went and saw the actual pencil sketches, the detail that were in those sketches that were totally lost on the reproductions. But it wasn't. Those started to get much better probably in the late 1990s when printers were doing stats, but they were doing it with a much finer line screen that was not available earlier. And they were able to pick up a lot more detail, but still not. The scanner does an excellent job of picking up those sub-values that 30 years ago you just could not do. The biggest we can go in print is 60 inches in one direction, so in the other direction it can be... I did a canvas for Borden Remington that was 5 feet by 20 feet. Yeah, you can request a sample of because if you're doing in your own workspace, you're making adjustments to it, and we know that our scanner, we're using the same color space for the scanner, the terminals that we're using for doing that, and the printers. They're all
Legacy.
Yeah, it's all tied together. Thank you. So that we're looking for accuracy. I did a reproduction. Do you know who Sig Haynes is? Yeah. Okay. It was a painting that Sig had done, and we were reproducing it. And the guy who had us reproduce it said, "Something's wrong with that." And I walked in, and I looked at it. And I said, "Wow." And it was. Some of you may know Chuck Boucher, who used to work at this. Yeah. Well, I thought, wow, Chuck's really getting good. And but the guy that we reproduced it said, "Oh, there's something wrong." And he came in and we started looking at it. But the problem was with it is that on Sig's painting, the whites are painted in. And the white of the canvas was not quite as white as the titanium he used, and that was the only difference. because where the white was is where it looked like it was different. And we're thinking, well, these colors are. You put.
He's got a couple in the museum, and they're chic in the fields, and they look like a pastel. So I can only imagine in the reproduction process, you go, what the hell? I mean, you'd have to go almost side by side.
Yeah, once we determined that, it was like, okay, if you took a piece of the canvas that we printed and laid it over the original, it was like right on, except for the white.
Except for the white, yeah.
So, and the reproductions is beautiful.
But it's not perfect.
But if you're not looking, and if you didn't see the original, you'd never know. Right. But when you know the original and you see it and you make that comparison, like I said, a discerning eye can pick it up. Thank you, fellow kids.
This video was proudly sponsored by the South Coast Artist Index. If you want to know more information, go to theartistindex.com.